Hello, hello. It's the Joyous Voyagers, Daniel,
Corey.
and we are here to talk a little bit about what we've learned after 6 months on the road of RVing.
Been 6 months already.
It's been a whirlwind. It's been so fun, exciting, but we kind of have the top 5 questions I guess we've been asked by friends, family, other people on the road that we just figured why not address and kind of go through. So we basically have written down, just made a list of the top 5 questions and just going to highlight on them and kind of give you insight on, how it's been on the road for us so far.
So our first question is, what have we learned about full-time traveling in the past 6 months?
For me, less plans are better. You can plan so much and then you're stuck having to be in a time commitment and get and arrive to a certain spot. So, for me, it was, and I guess plan 5 places you kind of have to go to, but figure out how you get there later.
Yeah, we just learned that we like to travel with little to no plans because you just never know, what you're going to run into weather-wise. And then we also just like hearing from other RVers, where they suggest us go. So we like having that flexibility.
Yeah.
And like Daniel said, not having to be tied to one particular area at a specific date. So that's helped us a lot.
Yeah.
That's allowed us to be in some really pretty areas with beautiful weather.
The majority of our trip, the majority of our second, like the last 3 months, was literally planned. We had completely different plans and we scrapped them after talking to people at campsites and meeting new people. All the California and Oregon coast that we've done was from a couple we met from Oregon, and they just guided us, and we're like, you know what, they know better than we. They've been doing this longer. And sure enough, the other thing is when you're flexible, it's just amazing how timing and when you arrive places, at least for us, the weather, everything just worked out even better. We look back like, oh my gosh, if we would have done this, we wouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing I think I've learned the most.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess it's just important to learn your style of traveling, like how fast you want to move, how slow you want to move. Do you want to, try to make plans consistently along the way, or do you just kind of want to go with the flow? And a lot of that you can't figure out until you
Get out there.
Try it.
Yeah.
So.
Another thing I put is always bring your tools.
Yeah.
There's so many situations where, just the maintenance, if you weren't prepared, have your air compressor for your tires, have wrenches for all your bolts, like a lot of the big channels say. There's a lot of times with our tools, something that could have been a predicament we got right out of and kept on going down the road. Wake up early.
Yeah.
You'd think you're full-time traveling. We're not having jobs right now on the road, but waking up early and not sleeping in season every day, getting to the national parks before everyone else does.
Yeah, that's something that we learned that is very important to do, is get up early, get your day going. And then another one was, we learned that we really, really like utilizing the harvest hosts. Those have been really beneficial for us. And honestly, we've gotten to do some really cool things because we've stayed at harvest hosts that we otherwise probably wouldn't. So
a lot of cool wineries. There's a lot of neat places. We did an airboat ride in Mississippi with the Gators. That was a really fun time. I'm trying to think of some of the other more unique ones. We stayed at a lot of neat places, but just utilize the RV community. Reach out to other travelers that you might follow, and you can get a lot of tips and tricks on how to avoid the crowd or where to park, and just utilize the people that are ahead of you where you're going. If you pay attention to some other channels, that's some of the best advice we've gotten as well.
The next thing was just make sure that you're prepared for unexpected expenses and repairs and that kind of thing, because when you're on the road full time and you're traveling and you're moving, and it's bound to happen eventually.
Yeah, we
So,
probably spent $1,000 on the road, just with some wiring issues.
repairs and that kind of thing
Yeah.
with, user error and,
Yeah.
just stuff that
Bouncing around and
happen.
shaking.
Yeah.
Right.
Just stuff that happens.
Maybe another tool. I think I had to buy a certain wrench set because I didn't have it, and so that goes into bringing what you need. I thought I did, and I didn't have a certain wrench set that fits some of the electrical stuff with the battery. As you know, AutoZone told me it had battery and wired it wrong, and there was just a little bit of user error too on my part, and some of the lines got fried, and so we had to pay basically to get our battery rewired to the inverter and all that inside the rig. But
Yeah.
outside of that, not a lot of issues.
And then the last thing on the things that we've learned full-time traveling is just to be patient and go with the flow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you're in no rush. You're well, maybe you are. I don't know. For us, we weren't in a rush. So, be patient also just with the flow of everything, the unexpected. Things like that, realize, that might take a day, but you'll make up for it the next.
yeah, just because something isn't going to plan or maybe is going wrong or something doesn't mean that it's got to ruin your entire, view on RV living.
Right. Scenery change. Beautiful hydrangeas. What's the next one here? How has the lifestyle influenced us individually and as a couple? For me, I've been asked that a couple times from some people, but I would say just a stronger foundation on what I want our future and just individually standards in my life moving forward. When you're, going to national parks and just site after site and just experiencing so much, life just starts speaking to you about like what matters, how you want to live your life, continuing to see these things because you realize the value in travel. I think America, we're so busy going, getting. You really do need to slow down. I mean, I think a lot of the rest of the world has some things figured out that America's just obsessed with more materialistic value and not life value and experiences. And when you're constantly being shocked, at least for me, with nature and the beauty of things, the appreciation of those just skyrockets. And you don't find the tangible things that a lot of folks chase after really worth pursuing, and you just get a little bit more down to earth. And then also just connecting with people that you meet more of the salt of the earth type of folks out there, and it really when you're in the rat race, sometimes you get a lot of jaded aspects of people or just mindsets that you have to deal with. And so when you're traveling, you meet a lot of people who are out there, and you might meet them on their best days because they're having fun too. But also, I don't think there's anything wrong with that either, because then that's just everyone putting their best foot forward, and that's how we're supposed to walk anyways. Be a light in the world and be joyful.
Yeah, I mean, it just helps you remember that that there's more to live for than money or things and that kind of thing. And for me, I think the biggest thing that I got out, or I have so far with the trip, is letting go of control a bit more, and kind of allowing God to do his thing, and to live more in the moment, as opposed to trying to live for tomorrow or the next day or whatever else.
Or your plans.
Right, or what I, what my expectations are for my life and that kind of thing. And to appreciate life that we're living now.
Yeah.
That's a big thing is, before the trip I was finding myself really focusing on, always focusing on the future and really ignoring my present. And this really, it forces you to live in the moment,
You're in the moment every day.
And then also just making one day today. Everybody has their one day I'm going to do blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But just making that happen today, right now.
Yeah. I don't know how many people we met. And, 34, she's 31. And, at y'all's age, oh my gosh, if we would have done this, you're doing it right. Once again, we've said that before, but we've a lot of people from all different walks, all different kind of, rigs, to the $1 million buses, to the truck campers, and everyone just saying chase it now, because life is short, and grow. Let the world, change you. Life has an amazing way of guiding you if you just kind of get out of the way. I think we get in the way of life a little too much these days.
I think we try to control things a little too much.
Yeah.
So.
Next question we were asked a lot. Would you do anything differently? Not too many things, I would say, in that realm for me. I've enjoyed it thoroughly. Like we said, we go with the flow. Not the biggest planners. We were out here to have fun. We had a couple things we wanted to do, but more peace of mind stuff. I think I would have put an aftermarket transmission cooler on the truck just for peace of mind. As things got hotter, the transmission was running a little hot and driving around. I mean, we had a 5.0 liter. The rig was a little over 4,000 pounds, but overall we had everything weighed and we were about over 10,000 pounds. So, I mean, we did fine, we still are, but just to have in the summer, when the 90 degree heat hit in, we just noticed a huge difference. We were also leaving early to avoid the heat.
Yeah.
And really just take a little bit more time to do some talks like this. We did a lot of our conversation boondocking.
Yeah, we just didn't record
any of it because it was just like...
So it'd be... We wish that we would have shared a bit more with you
throughout
guys.
The process.
Yeah.
We showed it all we're kind of go adventure folks. We chase the adventure. So we're showing you what we love. But we also, I wish we had slowed down that moment just to grasp the mindsets or be able to watch mindset transitions or revelations that we'd come up with when we talked for 2-3 hours out in the middle of the Grand Canyon and stuff like that.
Yeah.
For me.
What I would do differently is I wouldn't have broken my shoulder.
Can't really predict it.
I mean, I couldn't really control that, and that goes back to trying not to control everything. But if I had a choice, I wouldn't have broken my shoulder, obviously. And then a big one for me was I would have gotten up a lot earlier and seen a lot more sunrises. I like to sleep in. I like my sleep. And I was kind of kicking myself later that, I didn't get up more to see more sunrises. So I would have done that differently.
They were beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm
sure he was up seeing a lot more sunrises than me. So our next question is, do we have any regret?
Do we have any regrets?
Say it again. Do we have any regrets?
No.
No regrets.
No, we have
I guess
some.
This question is a little similar to would we do anything differently? In that, we don't necessarily have any regrets necessarily, but we would do things differently.
For me, it was I wish maybe we ate out a little bit more at local spots. We were really diligent about eating and cooking, which we enjoyed. But there was a lot of neat restaurants that we just kind of went by, and I was like, oh man, we should eat there, but we just didn't enjoy local eateries as much. And then what else I put? Not reading more. I brought like 15 books, and we were so busy going and hiking. I should have read. I just feel guilty. I told myself I was going to read all these books and everything, but you get out there and it's 100 miles per hour. And then one of them we agreed on too is wishing we went further on the southwest coast of Florida, and not as much time on the east coast. The west coast was warmer and was very pretty. We wish we had more beach bum days. Yeah,
that was one of mine. I regret not spending more time on the beach. More like sun-filled, warm weather, beach. And then one of my other ones was not eating more s'mores. I do regret that. I love my s'mores, and I just don't understand why I didn't eat more s'mores. And then the last one, again, can't control it, but because I broke my shoulder, we weren't able to go to Havasu Pie, which if anybody is familiar with that area, it's in the Grand Canyon, and it's a collection of beautiful waterfalls, and because I broke my shoulder, we weren't able to go, so I regret that.
It's a 3-day hike in. You hike in 10 miles, you stay there. Well, it's a 1-day hike in, but you stay for 3 days in camp, and we were really looking forward to it. But we did find out, we did sell our tickets, so we got our money back, but also the weekend that we were going to go was absolutely horrible snow.
It was
so
really
it would have been
cold and rainy and snowy, so
we lucked out.
I guess it's a good thing we didn't go when we were supposed to, but
but we wish that it was beautiful weather and we went.
Yes. Yes.
New location, how you like it? We're just bouncing around my mom's backyard. Just giving you some variety to look at here in Georgia. But next question we were asked a bunch, what was our favorite places? Everybody, we went a lot of places, and honestly, they were all just amazing. But for me, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say it's hard to pick just a few.
It really is, but I mean, we agree on two of them. I mean, we like them all, but two really stuck out. For me, I liked Oliver Lee State Park in New Mexico. It was something about getting through Texas and her healing from her shoulder. We were now getting to the point where, that was a very interesting time that we had to fight through and work together and get her healed up. But as we got to Oliver Lee, I just saw the adventure getting more and more. We knew we were in the West, and we were really focused on getting to the West. But at Oliver Lee, you had the three river petroglyphs, Cloudcroft Canyon, the white sands. It was just, the landscape was changing, and it was very peaceful. We did have a sandstorm, but that was kind of just interesting. Never been in a sandstorm, and it didn't last forever. But that was a fun. That was the start of a lot of the fun. I mean, gosh, we had so much fun before then, but I don't know.
It was something we hadn't experienced before.
All that white sand, the White Sand National Beach, walking around the dunes. It was just kind of like, oh wow, okay, now I'm seeing things I've never seen in my life.
Yeah.
And so it was really neat. The sequoias.
Yeah, we agree on that one as like one of our top favorites. The sequoias were magical and spiritual and just amazing. There's so many words to describe it that don't really do it justice.
You have to go.
Yeah, you really just have to see it and, come up with your own way to describe it.
When you see things 3,000 years old and just that big, it puts in perspective. You haven't been here that long. We haven't been here that long. Like there's a lot of earth and just life that was here before, our influence, before man got there and started cutting down the trees and stuff. It was just amazing that they're still there. And then the groves, it was amazing. You climb 9,000 feet up in a mountain, up in the clouds and snow caps, and then the biggest thing you've ever seen in your life. And to be in a place where the trees, that's the largest there is in the world, and it's right there, it's right here. It was so neat. And Three Rivers, just the area getting into it, it was just so pretty.
Yeah.
So pretty. And then the Oregon coast.
Yep. The Oregon coast. My favorite area on the Oregon coast was Humbug Mountain State Park. I just really enjoyed that area. The state park had its own little trail to the beach right there on the coast, and we watched a really nice sunset, and I don't know, there was just something about that area, and the weather was beautiful, and it was just an experience to remember for sure.
The hike at Humbug, there's a hike there where, how do you go?
It's like 1,600, I think.
Yeah, 1,600 feet. And we were going for quite a while, and I was just kind of giving Corey an out, and she pushed us forward, like, no, we have to get to the top. I was just like, we can turn back. We've already been on it for like 2 miles. And but when we got up there, you saw the entire like south coast of Oregon. And then just to be like down at the beach at sunsets and up there, and it's like a black sand beach with all these different pebble rocks, and the coast, that ocean is just, it's a sea. I mean, it is alive and well. It's not just your little waves. That was real ocean weather. And then part of Humbug, and then just crawling, for me, it was Humbug, but just crawling up the entire Oregon coast. We really took our time, and spending the night at Thor's Well.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, that was, I mean, everyone left. It was just us. We were sipping on some wine, and we watched whales for like 2 to 3 hours. These whales that were just hanging out right in front of Thor's well.
They just weren't going anywhere. They just stayed right there.
Yeah.
And, you know, you would see every once in a while them, you know, spray water out of their blowholes, and you'd see their backs come out of the water every once in a while. I think I saw a tail once or twice. And
Yeah, I never saw a tail.
it was really cool. Really, really neat experience. Something I've never seen, you know, whales out in the ocean.
Right.
And in an aquarium.
Right. But just to walk out to that ocean and literally like just be standing right there at Thor's well, and in the morning no one was there to get up and make coffee and just to go sit out there all by ourselves. That was a dream. That was amazing.
My last one that I'm gonna share as far as my favorites go is Magnolia Beach in Texas, right on the east coast of Texas, and that was just awesome. You know, it was nice weather. It wasn't really hot. It was, you know, cool.
Yeah,
and
sunrise.
we had Valentine's Day there, and that was like one morning. I was like, we ended up moving the whole rig and everything.
Got the rig stuck
so that I could see the sunrise, because where we were, you know, beforehand, you just couldn't see it. It was blocked by a lot of stuff. So we moved to an area where we could see it, and I made sure I woke up that morning, and very glad I got to see.
Yeah, it was
on Valentine's Day.
It was absolutely beautiful.
It was just pink.
Sherbert sky and ocean with a glass
so
mirror. You'll link
so
right there. Watch that video. It was amazing.
We'll link the videos to some of our favorite places so that y'all can check them out if you want to.
Yeah. So yeah, that is our 5 questions regarding kind of what we've enjoyed out of the trip, what we regretted, what we would change, just what we've been asked the most about from all you fellow Voyagers, family, and friends.
In our first 6 months.
In our first 6 months on the road. Definitely look forward to continue to give y'all plenty of content and just show you where we're bouncing around in Georgia and Florida and let you catch up to us live. We're a little bit behind, but enjoying the road.
Yep, and if you like the video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Hit that notification button so you know when we're putting out some new videos.
Yeah, you can see us on Instagram and Facebook as well. But alrighty, y'all, enjoying the road.
See ya.
See ya.